The rap game thought the coast was clear. After the dust settled on the biggest beef in hip-hop history, everyone finally took a breath. Drake was licking his wounds. The industry moved on to the next headline. Streams were being counted, awards were being handed out, and everyone thought the chapter was closed. But while the world was distracted by numbers and narratives, Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem were quietly building something far more dangerous. Something that's been hiding in plain sight for months. We're not just getting a new album or a simple feature. We're witnessing the launch of a calculated, Marvel-style cinematic universe. A carefully orchestrated takeover that's been in motion since before the beef even started. If you think the dice, the vintage cars, and those cryptic jackets were just cool aesthetics or random stage props, you haven't been paying attention. Every symbol has meaning, every move is calculated, every visual is a clue. Today, we decode the return of Baby Keem and unravel the Kendrick Lamar war script that's been hiding in plain sight. We're going deep into the pgLang universe, connecting dots that most people didn't even know existed. Buckle up, this goes deep. Everything means something. That's the pgLang philosophy. And it's not just a marketing slogan, this is how they operate. Every image, every color, every prop has a purpose. Remember the Grand National Tour Kendrick just wrapped up? The one that broke records and had fans camping outside arenas? The massive stage production, the giant dice rolling across those LED screens during certain songs, the vintage car imagery that dominated the merch stands. Fans called it artistic flair. Critics praised it as elevated production design, but it was actually a breadcrumb trail leading US straight to Baby Keem's new era. And most of us completely missed it. Let's break down the evidence piece by piece. The mirror theory. Kendrick has been touring with a vintage Buick Grand National, the GNX. This isn't just any car. It's a legendary piece of automotive and hip-hop history. The GNX represents raw power, underdog status, and West Coast legacy. But here's the kicker that nobody caught until recently. Baby Keem has been spotted with a second GNX, hidden under a bright red tarp at multiple pgLang events. Not just one sighting, multiple documented appearances at studios, photo shoots, and private events. 2 cars, 2 artists, 1 shared vision. This is a mirror theory in action. What Kendrick does, Keem reflects, but with his own twist. The symbols deep dive. Now let's talk about those dice and playing card motifs. Kendrick wore custom jackets covered in dice, cards, and gambling imagery during his entire 2025 performance run. Fans thought it was just a cool aesthetic choice, maybe a reference to taking risks or playing the game. But then Keem's new merch bundles dropped, and what do we see? The exact same branding, the same visual language, the same dice patterns, even the color schemes matched perfectly, the reds, blacks, and golds. This isn't coincidence, it's coordination at the highest level. This is months of planning, design work, and strategic rollout. The hidden message. Kendrick wasn't just performing his greatest hits on that stage every night. He was literally planting the seeds for Keem's takeover, while the entire industry was busy counting streams, analyzing chart positions, and writing think pieces about the beef. The pgLang team was executing phase 1 of a much bigger plan. This is chess, not checkers. This is Sun Tzu Art of War strategy applied to hip-hop. pgLang has been 5 moves ahead the entire time, and we're just now catching up. Now, let's talk about what we know for certain and what we strongly suspect. The reports have been confirmed by multiple reliable sources. Kendrick Lamar is on Baby Keem's upcoming album, specifically on a track titled Good Flirt. That title alone is interesting. It suggests something playful, experimental, maybe even provocative. But here's where the plot thickens and things get really interesting. The standalone single rumors, industry insiders, producers who've been in the studio, people close to the camp, they're all whispering about a standalone single dropping before the full album. This would be separate from Good Flirt, a completely different track. And this isn't going to be some radio-friendly, playlist-optimized bop designed to rack up streams. This won't be made for the TikTok dancers or the casual listener scrolling through Spotify. Sources close to the camp say Kendrick and Keem are trading crazy levels of bars. We're talking bar-for-bar warfare that'll make your head spin. Technical wizardry that only true hip-hop heads will fully appreciate. Layered wordplay with double and triple entendres that'll have genius annotations working overtime. The kind of track that demands multiple listens just to catch everything. This is a warning shot to the industry. A reminder that while everyone else is chasing viral moments, radio spins, and TikTok trends, pgLang is playing an entirely different game. They're playing for the throne, for legacy, for history. The Family Ties evolution. Let's rewind for a second and talk about context. Think back to Family Ties, the track that dropped in 2021. Remember how it caught the entire industry off guard? The raw aggression that felt almost violent through the speakers? The back-and-forth chemistry between Kendrick and Keem that felt telepathic. The way it made the whole industry sit up and pay attention to baby Keem as a serious threat. That song proved these two together are dangerous. Now imagine that energy, but evolved. Imagine it darker, grittier, more experimental, more unforgiving, with 3 more years of growth, experimentation, and refinement. With Kendrick fresh off dismantling one of the biggest artists on the planet in the most documented beef in hip-hop history. His pen is sharper than ever. His confidence is at an all-time high. With Keem hungrier than ever to prove he's not just Kendrick's protege, or his cousin getting a handout. He's a problem in his own right, a generational talent who deserves his own spotlight. This combination right now, at this moment in time, is potentially unstoppable. This isn't just music, this is a statement of dominance. But here's the thing about pgLang, they don't do anything halfway. They don't just drop music and call it a day. Every release is an event, a cultural moment, an artistic statement to bring this vision to life. They've called in one of the most respected visual artists in the game, someone whose work speaks for itself, Ronell Medrano. Who is Ronell Medrano? For those who don't know, Ronell is not your average music video director. She's a creative genius behind the iconic Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers cover art. That powerful image of Kendrick wearing a crown of thorns, holding his children. That wasn't just a cover. It was a statement about Black fatherhood, masculinity, trauma, and healing. Her photography work has appeared in Vogue, ID magazine, and major exhibitions worldwide. She shot everyone from Solange to Rosalia, always bringing depth and meaning. Her work doesn't just accompany music, it elevates it to another level. She turns album rollouts into gallery exhibitions, music videos into short films. She makes you think, makes you feel, makes you see things differently. The pgLang visual language. By bringing Ronell into the fold for this new era, Kendrick and Keem are sending a crystal clear message to the industry. We're not playing in the rapper's sandbox anymore. We're not interested in the flashy cars, designer clothes, and club scenes that dominate most music videos. We're operating in film director territory, in fine art territory. This is high art meets street poetry meets cultural commentary. Expect visuals that make you pause the video and really look at what's happening. Symbolism that takes weeks to decode. That fans will be breaking down frame by frame. Color theory, composition, lighting that film students will study. Frames you could literally print out and hang in a museum or art gallery. This is the pgLang difference on full display. While other labels are pumping out cookie-cutter music videos with the same tired formulas, pgLang is building a visual language that'll be studied, referenced, and imitated for years to come. So, now, let's take a step back and connect all the dots we've uncovered. The dice symbolism, the matching cars, the coordinated symbols, the strategic rollout, the visual direction from a world-class artist, the rumored standalone single, the confirmed album feature. This isn't a random chance. This isn't good luck or coincidence. This is a prophecy being fulfilled in real time, right before our eyes. The master plan. Think about the bigger picture for a moment. Kendrick just finished the biggest victory lap in hip-hop history. He demolished Drake in a beef that the entire world watched. He dropped Not Like Us, which became a cultural phenomenon. He performed at the Super Bowl halftime show, the biggest stage in music. He could have easily disappeared for 3 years to work on his own next album. Nobody would have blamed him. He earned the rest, he earned the creative hibernation. But instead, what does he do? He immediately pivots to elevate his partner, his creative equal, his family. He's using all of his momentum, all of his cultural capital, to build up baby Keem. Because that's what pgLang represents at its core, a collective movement, not a traditional label with hierarchies and exploitation, not a brand just selling merchandise, a philosophy about how artists should support each other, build together, win together. Baby Keem's role, and this is crucial to understand, baby Keem isn't the sidekick in this story. He's not Robin to Kendrick's Batman. He's the next chapter of the story. The evolution of West Coast hip-hop, the torch being passed to the next generation. But with Kendrick still very much in the arena, still fighting, still creating, still pushing boundaries, we're watching the construction of a dynasty in real time. The kind of legacy building that we haven't seen since Cash Money, or Rockefeller, or Death Row in their primes. The West Coast Renaissance. The West Coast isn't just back, it's rewriting the rules of how the game is played, while the industry is still processing what happened in the Drake battle. While podcasts are still doing breakdowns and timelines, Kendrick is already 3 steps ahead, building the next generation of West Coast dominance, and the timing, it's absolutely perfect. The culture is starving for substance right now, for genuine artistry, for music that challenges you mentally and emotionally, not just entertains you, for artists who have something real to say, who take risks, who push boundaries. pgLang is about to feed that hunger in a major way. The second GNX is finally coming out from under that red tarp. Whether it drops in 24 hours as a complete surprise that breaks the internet, or rolls out as a strategic weeks-long campaign with teasers, snippets, and viral moments, one thing is absolutely certain, and you can take this to the bank: the duo of Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem remains the most dangerous threat to the status quo of hip-hop. This isn't just an album rollout with some features and music videos. It's a takeover, a declaration of war, a prophecy fulfilled. The signs were always there, we just needed to know where to look. But now I want to hear from you because your perspective matters. Do you think these dice symbols are actually a roadmap to the new album's themes and concepts? Or are we as fans reading too deep into coincidences and seeing patterns that aren't really there? In a post-beef world with Kendrick at peak powers, is the industry ready for him to go on another dominant run? Can anyone compete with this level of planning, artistry, and execution? And most importantly, how long before pgLang becomes the single most powerful force in hip-hop? Are we watching the birth of the next death row? The next Rockefeller? Drop your theories in the comments section below. I read every single one. Let's discuss this. Debate it, break it down together. And if you made it this far in the video, you're clearly invested in the story. Hit that like button so the algorithm knows this content matters. Subscribe if you haven't already because we're covering every single development in the story. Turn on notifications so you don't miss one. That single drops because the war has just begun and pgLang is playing for keeps.